Hey, there's Mr. Chris Monroe. Hey,
There you
there.
go. All you got to do is think about it and poof, it'll occur.
he
That's right.
is. Yeah.
Manifestation.
That's right.
Well, welcome, sir, to our podcast. And we'll tell everybody out there in YouTube world.
Tonight's special guest is going to be Mr. Chris Monroe, the leader of the St. Louis Sub 2 community.
Well, thank you, James and Shelley. I appreciate you having me on. Yes, I'm out of St. Louis, been doing real estate since 2018. Started wholesaling then and quickly got into the creative finance. Bought a bunch of houses without using my own credit and many times without using my own cash. And I like to help others learn how to do that as well. Thanks for having me.
What got you into real estate in 2018 then?
Great question. So yeah, it's actually kind of weird because I was just watching some motivational videos and stuff like that, and I fell asleep. And you know how the algorithm is just going on and on and on. And when I woke up, it was a guy with a big beard walking around talking about real estate named Max Maxwell. I was like, what? You can do real estate, no credit, no cash, no nothing. So I started learning about wholesaling from there, and I didn't even wait around. I started marketing like the second or third day, even knowing about it and started doing the business. Didn't even think about it. No brainer.
Yeah, so how did that go at the beginning?
Yeah, so in the beginning, it was I actually had a virtual assistant before I even had a deal. I wouldn't suggest anybody new to do that. I had previous business experience, so I came into the business of real estate a little bit different than most people. So I dumped probably about $1,000 into the pot before I even got my first deal, dealing with website, dealing with virtual assistants, the marketing stuff like that, phone systems, all the stuff. And so I got my first contract probably about a week into marketing. I got my first two contracts and I go through, but my third one did actually get to the finish line. So yeah, I just jumped in and tried it out and failed forward.
Yeah, just to let you know what we did. We started last year. We started with Ron LeGrand. We went to his boot camp in Tampa, Florida. We spent a week there. Oh,
Pretty intense.
yeah, we learned with the fire hose,
We sure
Yeah,
did.
Ron LeGrand's one of my favorites. Yeah, I studied under him as well back in maybe 19, 20,
right?
yeah, something like that. So I was doing wholesaling and I started learning about the creative finance stuff. And that's where I kind of learned some of the strategies that I learned from Papa Ron LeGrand.
Right. Yeah, we learned a lot from him. We were in his mentoring program also, and that was did not work out well for us, just to say, to keep it nice. And we kind of moved on from there. We Shelley found Pace Morby on YouTube. We started watching him on YouTube. Then then we joined the Gator community first. Uh, we worked in there for a little while, and then we finally jumped full guns into the sub two community, and we've been doing that since
April?
no,
No,
no the
September.
September for the sub two
Right.
community.
Yeah, the crazy thing that I've noticed in this business of real estate, there's so much information. It's information overload, to be honest. And
Yeah,
it really makes it harder, in my opinion, because there's too many gurus. So you got to
right.
pick somebody, use their formula, and take it all the way to the finish line. That's what I would suggest because I've studied, little dabbles and digits from lots of people. So I stand
We
on
have
the
to.
shoulders of giants. I learned from a lot of people, little things that I can implement to make my business better.
That's what we do as well. I mean, we take little nuggets from everybody, and I'd say overall, Pace has the most complete community. Even I mean, he gives us so much shiny objects to go hunting after all the time, and it's hard to keep focused.
Yeah,
But
it's a lot.
we just like to say that our first deal, we partnered with Pace and Abraham in the Deal or No Deal, and we bought our first property from Mr. Chris Monroe right here in front of us.
What? That's right. Doing a little bit of wholesaling on the creative side. So yeah, and congratulations on that buy, you guys.
Yeah, and Do you have an idea how many deals that you've completed from the time you started till now?
Oh wow. From 20, so in 2018, my first year, I did about 17 deals in my first year. So I hit the ground running. I was not playing around.
Right,
Uh, and so probably completed deals, maybe around 50, 60, somewhere in there.
right,
So some deals I end up selling to other people, assigning them,
right.
or
Wholesaling.
some of the deals I end up keeping myself. And I just completed my first flip over here in Florissant. So
So how did that go? How was your first flip? I mean, we kind of curious about that as well.
yeah, it was okay overall. I only did it for the experience because, when I'm talking about this stuff, I like to talk from what I've actually done, not from what I heard. Somebody
Right.
said it might happen. I like to get in there and actually know. Same thing I did with wholesaling, the same thing I did with creative finance, buying houses subject to. I actually got in there and said, I'm just going to flip this property. So really, to be honest, it goes deeper than that. You want me to cook yet? Or can I make some gumbo yet?
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
go.
so this is the real truth of the matter. I wholesaled that deal to myself and then I flipped it. So I made $5,000 at closing when I bought that house that I'm flipping. And
Right.
then so I'm in it. I bought it for 90 or had it under contract for 90. I signed it for 5,000 more to myself to a different entity, made 5,000 at closing. Uh, I did a hard money loan to purchase that property. So it was 95 plus 35 of rehab. And so I'm 140 or $135,000 in. I put it on the MLS and we had an offer over asking, sold it for 185. So 185 minus our 135 minus whatever jump fees that are thrown at me, we'll make that as profit on our first flip. How about that?
That's nice.
Awesome.
And
Congratulations.
But I gotta throw a disclaimer. It took a long time. We started this back in October. This is what, March. It took us, in my mind, because I'm used to wholesaling. We're doing deals in 10 days, 10,
right.
12 days, getting big checks real quick. This was slow. This was methodical. You had to think. You had to spend money. You had to go shopping. You had to take returns back, stuff that don't fit, that don't act right, that don't look right, etc. Managing contractors, all of that stuff. When you're talking about flipping, I know a lot of people want to flip a property for some reason. I tell people do the wholesale deal because you can get a check now without the headache. And like I say, this flipping was cool, but it really was a lot of moving parts, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so how was managing those contractors?
I think it was good overall. We only had one that was kind of some drama, but we got that corrected. But outside of that, overall it was pretty good.
So they were pretty much there every day they said they were going to be and so forth. Because I
Yeah,
hear a
but like
lot
I
of
said,
nightmares.
well, here's the problem. The person I had doing it mostly did weeks only. They were on to be off every weekend. So that eliminated a lot of days right there. Then we had the holidays, Thanksgiving, the
You're right.
holiday Christmas, the holiday New Year, all those
Halloween.
holidays and stuff in between all of that. So it stretched this project out. This really should have been done in about 2 months, maybe three if I'm slow. But look at me. I'm going to be closing supposedly April 10th. So this took a long time. In my mind, as far as real estate is concerned, I'm used to quick checks with quick respect.
Well, that's a good day to be closing. That it just happens to be my birthday.
Oh, look at that. Happy birthday.
So, as, as far as going along, you said that you've studied with Ron LeGrand, and you've also studied obviously with Pace and some others. Where do you think you got your biggest nuggets from?
The biggest nugget came from taking massive action, not making excuses, not waiting on somebody to save me because nobody's coming to save me. I
Yeah.
got in the game. I put some skin in the game. I spent some money, some money that I didn't have to spend, but, part of the game. And like I said, I had previous business experience. So me investing in myself, I knew that was a good investment no matter what, because I knew I could get it to the finish line. I could figure this out because I was like, so just a little more about my background. I've been in the resale business since I don't know, 2012 or something like that. So buy low, sell high. Products, real physical products,
Right,
items like homes and stuff, whatever, furniture,
right,
collectibles, antiques. And I don't know if you saw the show Storage Wars, like they lifted up and
right.
everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
I bought probably over 300 of those lockers. So I literally sold almost everything you can think of selling. So when I learned about real estate, I was like, real estate, all you need is papers. Oh man, I could flip some paper. I ain't gotta move it. I ain't gotta do nothing. Sign a document, and that's what made me have the confidence to know that I can do it as far as wholesaling. And the same when it came to creative finance, which has a little more moving parts. But I actually think creative finance is easier than wholesaling. That's just my opinion.
Why do you say it's easier than wholesaling?
Because I don't have to beat anybody up on their price. I can give them exactly what they asked for. You want 300,000? That's fine. This is the way we get you 300,000, and we break down the way we do it in a
Right.
creative fashion.
After this Zoom, we'd like to take a few minutes and talk to you about a specific deal. If we could have just a few more minutes of your time afterwards.
100%. So yeah, I appreciate that. So is this the end of that specific segment or about to end?
Oh no, we're just kind of going. Do you have any questions that you want to ask?
I don't know. You've asked some pretty good ones, to be honest.
Yeah, come
So,
on, Shelly, drop something heavy on them.
I know. I'm just trying to. I'm like, wait. I started to say something. It was like you two got involved in another conversation. I was like, well, okay, that was better than my question.
so
Well, I
as
will just say I do love creative finance much more than wholesaling. Like I said, because one, I'm not beating them up on the price. I'm actually solving a problem that most wholesalers, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, no wholesaler can solve the problem when you implement creative finance. We're beating wholesalers, we're beating real estate agents, we're beating everybody in the marketplace because everybody's doing the same thing, trying to buy it for $2. I don't want to
right,
buy your house for $2. I want to give you something where you can actually walk away with some money in your pocket or to solve your actual situation if you don't need money in your pocket. So, creative finance is a game changer, asking good open ended questions and serving people exactly what they're asking for, not what I want to sell them. I'm serving people exactly what they ask for. And when I ask my questions, I want to give them that versus just trying to close somebody on something I think really is better for me versus better for them.
so that kind of brings me to another question. Do you enjoy what part do you enjoy the best? The conversations closing with people or the actual paperwork or what part of the creative process is your favorite? It's where I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, great question. I would say the closing call. I like to have the closing call with a real person with a real problem. Now, they don't have any pain, and I like to say 3 to 5 pain points. If they don't have at least 3 pain points, they probably shouldn't be talking to me. They need to go put it on the market and pray, like most people do. But if you got some pain or you got something you want to get a gain, come holler at me and I'll try to figure a way to solve the problem. So I love the closing calls.
Right. And shoot, I had another question. Do you have any
So,
when you first started making those phone calls, how w- were you comfortable with it from the beginning, or is that something that you built over time?
Definitely built it up over time. No question about that. My first call, I was, yeah, you want to sell your house? I'm a cash buyer, doing all that dumb stuff. Well, I shouldn't call it dumb, but the things that people do when they don't know what they're doing. I don't even
Right,
come in talking about that stuff. I come in and get the 4 pillars right off the gate, which I try to find out timeline. I try to find out general condition. Don't really care about condition too much, too heavy on the front end, unless they raise that as an issue. And then I like to talk about their motivation, deep into motivation. There's levels into this motivation thing. And then we go in and go about the price. So once I got those 4 pillars, then I can try to construct a way to solve their actual problem if they address that they have a problem.
right, yeah, and that's something that we're running into is we're not finding anybody with problems. I mean, we are working on uh, pre-foreclosures right now, and our DAs are not getting anything to us too much right now, but they're going through the list. And we also are working on some probates as well, and they're not getting anything there yet either. So
Are they able to reach the people, or is it more so that people are not responding, like they're not interested? What has it been more of?
mostly that they're not interested.
So
Um,
they're in pre-foreclosure and they're like, oh, well, take my house. Is that what you're telling me?
well, that's what they're telling the VAs, or the VAs are telling us that they're saying anyway.
That's crazy.
And we've listened to a couple of their phone calls. I mean, it sounds like that they're just not interested, not very happy people that were calling.
So, I mean, so you're actually getting a pre-foreclosure. So somebody has an auction, say in 2 weeks, and you're telling me that the sellers or the owners of those properties have no interest in selling you the property. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I'm looking at some of them that are on the list that have foreclosures going up next week. Their auctions are scheduled for next week, and they're still no, they don't want to sell. They think that they can save it from the auction. They don't understand the whole process.
So, a lot of times when it comes to that, you have to dig a little, well, your VA, somebody, whoever got a hold of them. Because really, my thing that I found that I can't even get a hold of some of these people. Some of them really
That
are like
too.
ghosts. They are disappearing. They're doing Houdini disappearing acts. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. But if we actually get them, we have to corner them almost. What have you done so far to stop that auction?
Right.
You have to ask the right questions and really kind of make them think sometime beyond just, oh, would you want to sell your house? That may be an option, but a lot of times I found that if you lead with value, hey, we specialize in stopping auctions for people, helping them who have problems with the bank. What have you done so far to stop the auction? And put it on them like that versus, hey, I just want to
Right.
buy your house.
Right.
Everybody coming at them with, I just want to buy your house. If you lead with value first, I find that you get more bees with honey. Is that the right way to say it?
Yeah, that's right. Not vinegar.
Well, I think that what RVA says that we've seen or heard actually on the recordings is she says, we are from Five Star Home Buyers and we're interested in buying your house. And I told her, don't say that. You need to be a little more,
We have a new
sympathetic. We got to tell her how to kind of speak to these people. I wish there was some kind of
we have a
VA training thing.
well, they have VA training. We do have a new VA that doesn't understand exactly what we're doing, and we're having nightly huddles with them just so we can kind of go over things to improve them and things like that. But we've only had them since what last middle of last week, and
Yeah, it wasn't long. I
But
mean,
yeah,
she's
I would definitely have them delete saying my company name. I don't want my company name going
yeah,
across to anybody about
we
anything.
yeah we told her don't give out our company name unless it's specifically asked for.
Well, I mean, I don't give them my company a name until it's at a point of a meaningful relationship. If we're really talking about doing business, then yeah, we can go into that company.
Right?
But other than that, there's really no reason. My name's
But
just Chris, and I'm want to know if you're interested in selling. I'm just
yeah,
me. There's no reason to go way out because nobody cares what your company or my company is. To be honest, nobody cares. Hope this
no.
resonates for the people who watch this podcast later.
Yeah, that is a good bit of information right there because you do want to keep your name in a reputable way and just throwing it out there to everybody we feel is not a good thing.
100%.
And where do you see yourself going with this in the future as far as real estate? I mean, do you plan on flipping more, buying and holding? I mean, what direction do you plan on going?
I do not plan on flipping. Really, if I flip a property, I'm gonna flip it to myself. That's what I would prefer to do. I'm a buy and hold guy. I like to hold real estate and watch it go up in value while collecting cash flow each and every month, like we're about to collect in about 3 days. Due on the 28th, late on the 1st.
Yeah, that's our plan too, is a buy and hold. We plan on wholesaling some, depending on what the property is and whether if it fits into our buy box. And fix and flip, we're kind of like you. We'd like to know what it is, but it's not something that we plan on doing.
But everybody wants to fix and flip. I be looking at them like, you must don't know what that entails. Once you do wholesaling and get those checks real quick and easy, and then you do some flipping, you like, that flip was okay, but that was risky, a lot of junk. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm just biased because I started with wholesaling and I know that you can get a real check real quick like that. Because we just closed a $33,000 gross profit wholesale deal a couple of weeks ago. Had it under contract for 30, sold it for 63. I mean, where are you going to do that at on a flip and get that same money in 10 days?
No, it's
That's
not
not
gonna
going.
happen. It's
And
not
I
gonna.
know people here in St. Louis. One of the guys I had on my podcast a couple last year, he did a $90,000 wholesale deal. As a matter of fact, there's another young lady here. She started the same time I started in 2018. She did a $147,000 wholesale deal right here in St. Louis. Wholesale. And you talking about flipping. Heck no. I'm gonna get one of them checks.
Yeah. Where the heck did she get that at?
It was out in Ladue.
In the do. Yeah, you can get a little bit more price out there, but
That's why it was such a healthy spread, $147,000. Nice.
that's that's unheard of. I mean, that's not something that you're gonna expect every day, but if you can find something like that, that's like a gold mine in the
Just
creek.
a 30, 40, $50,000 one. That's what some people make in a year. You just made it in one deal without the stress and the headache of managing contractors and doing all that. Now, there's nothing wrong with a flip if you make my goal or my sweet spot. I say if you make 50,000 or more is worth flipping. If you're not making a big spread like that, it's really not worth the stress, to be honest. Getting permits and dealing with all this stuff and occupancy. I mean, there's so much stuff to go with it.
Right.
It's
All the
just
red
it's
tape.
almost not worth it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, dealing with the cities, the different cities that wherever you may be flipping at, I mean, they all have different laws and different rules and stuff, and you have to kind of, I mean, I come from another industry where I had to pull permits to get things into the ground, basically. Did a lot of digging, and it's not easy. You're sitting up there jumping through hoops all the time just to get that permit, just to do your job.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And it wasn't easy. And I don't recommend that for anybody. I mean, it's
And there's over 90 municipalities in the St. Louis County. That's a lot. Everybody got different rules and different processes, and some people care and some don't. I know I stay away from Berkeley. I know I stay away from what's that other one over here? It's not St. John. I think St. John is a bad one too. Woodson Terrace. There's another one that I'm forgetting. Uh,
St.
who?
Anne.
I don't know. I never dealt with St. Anne. I think I hear something about them too, but there's some areas I know that, like Berkeley, I know is one of them. I had a house over there, and I couldn't wait to get rid of that house.
Really?
Yeah,
So, what are your preferred areas that you do work in?
St. Louis County.
St. Louis County, but you stay out of the city, though, right?
I buy anywhere. I buy anywhere that it makes sense. It got to make sense. I don't like to lock myself in because I could still just wholesale the deal and let somebody else deal with all that headache.
Right, because I hear the city is trying to create some new laws that's going to make it difficult for us as
Everybody's going to make it
landlords.
difficult for us. That's why the more skills we have, the better. That's why I
Right,
try to get better and study and learn other strategies, learn more things. I'm doing a short sale right now. I'm taking over the first on a pre-foreclosure. It's not in foreclosure yet, but it's going to be in foreclosure. He's like 6 months behind. It's just not in yet. But
oh,
I'm taking over the first and I'm short selling the second. So the first loan is about 90,000. The second is about 37,000. The second about to get wiped off. So I sent in to request to see if they would take $3,000 as payoff in full. So I'll catch up the first, pay up the arrears, take it over, subject to, and just short sell the second and be done with that house. So that's my plan on that particular property.
that's good information because I did not know that you can do that.
You can take over the first, short sell the second is one of it's one of the best strategies you can do, to be
Right?
honest, because the second gets wiped out. Once they know the first is going to foreclose, the second not getting anything. They're getting wiped out.
Okay.
So second, third, fourth, fifth lien positions, all those positions after first, they won't get anything.
Okay.
And that's
Yeah,
why we want to get them
did,
and
did not even know that that was an option to short sell just the mortgage. I mean, who buys those?
no, we're not we're paying them, so a short sale. We're
Yeah.
paying less than what's owed on the loan. So
Right.
he owed 37. I offered 3,000. They haven't responded yet, but they might come back and say, yeah. They might come back and say, give us 6,000. Send them 6,000. It's a house in Florissant too, so I'll be buying that if everything goes right.
Right. So do you like Florissant? You have no problem up in that area?
I love Florissant. Florissant, Hazelwood. I have houses in that area, Afton, Oakville. I got houses all over St. Louis. So I prefer, St. Louis County overall.
Yeah. Um, we're looking at something up there and kind of trying to structure something now that'll work with them. That's what we'll talk with you after this. Do you have any other questions or anything? Hey, you notice our hats?
Yeah.
But you got a new one? I buy houses. Dang, there you go.
You see our shirt?
Oh, wait.
Oh, he
I
guessed.
buy houses.
I buy houses fast. Ask me how.
Yeah, how can you buy my house fast?
Creatively.
What does that mean?
I basically take over your existing loan and we can close with the title company in about 7 days or depending
I don't have a
on,
loan. It's free and clear. How are you going to take over a loan? I don't have a loan.
yeah, well, I will work with seller financing with you.
And what
Or
does
you
that mean?
give it cash.
Yeah, that's wholesaling.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to buy it? I got a house. I want to sell. It's free and clear.
Yeah, what will you take?
200,000.
I can give you a full price if you want to give me some good terms.
What does that mean?
Well, I will pay you over time and pay you off at some time in the future.
That sounds illegal.
No, it's legal. We go through a title company and we have it written up on a promissory note that we will pay you this over whatever we decide on between us.
That sounds kind of tricky. I don't know if I would want to do that. Sounds high risk.
No, it's keeps you from paying a lot more taxes by getting everything at once. You pay it over time instead of all of your taxes at once. It'll be a win-win for both of us.
Mm. Oh, so let me help you out here. Since this is good training for the audience that's going to be watching this later. Right when I said that sounds high risk, I wouldn't have been offering it. My question would have been, what makes you say that?
Okay,
And let them bring the objection. You're assuming the objection, but you don't know my objection.
that's what
So
we
it's
got.
better to be in the position of asking the question versus I'm going to try to figure it out. Oh, I can save you on taxes. I ain't thinking about taxes. Oh, I can get you a higher price. I ain't thinking about the price.
That's our problem that we need to start doing when they object. We try to solve the objection. Instead, we need to ask more the question about their objection.
You don't know the objection yet. You're solving something they never told you. So when I just said, "Oh, that sounds risky," or "That just sounds that," the next thing out of my mouth, well, what makes you say that? Oh, well, I mean, you might not make a payment or whatever objection. I got the objection out of them. So what I'm fishing for is an objection to overcome. See, we try to come in and try to sell a person. I don't want to sell you nothing. I want you to raise an objection, and I want to annihilate it when you raise it.
That's a very
Versus
good.
the object, not the objection in my mind, the objection in your mind.
Right, right. You gotta keep knock their objections out and let them answer it themselves. Kind of like coaching is what you're doing.
Exactly. So I don't know if you saw the last post I put up on a call I did with a guy, and he was like, "Oh," because it was a deceased lady gave him the house, and it was a subject. I mean, he got the house gifted to him basically, but it still had a mortgage on it. So the loan is in the deceased person's name, and the deed, the ownership is in this seller's name that wants to sell this house. And he was like, "Oh, there's no way I can sell you the house and leave the loan in there." So I said, "What makes you say that?" He
Yeah,
said,
why?
"Oh, well, because I did this." And if you go back and see the video, you're gonna say, "Wow!" You see exactly how I navigated this guy, and I destroyed every objection he threw up. So we're doing a deal with him too eventually.
Yeah, that's good. So as far as systems and processes, let's go into that for a minute. What kind of systems and processes are you using? Like you using a CRM?
How much time you got? I use all that stuff. I do this. I'm on subscriptions, baby. I pay the cost to be the boss. No question about that.
Right.
I probably could trim some of that stuff down, but you know,
Do you have a favorite?
no.
What do you use for a drip system, for example?
What is it? I'm sorry.
What do you use for a drip system, like for keeping them like a follow-up?
Oh, wokereply.com. So I use this site where basically automatically text messages people. It automatically, we can call them, text message them, or voicemail them, all automated, depending on what we set up as far as a campaign. So yeah, that's what I use. WokeReply.com.
Is that kind of like one of the sub accounts from GHL?
Well, there's so many systems out here. Like I say, I mean, let me see. How could I put this in a good way? There is no good way. I just pay the cost to be the boss. All this stuff costs.
Right,
Website. I have. Let me see. One, two, three. I have 4 websites.
right.
2 cash bar websites, a rent to own website, and a dispo cash bar or dispo selling
Disposal.
wholesale deal website. So 4 websites. Um, and then, like I say, we cold call, text message, voicemail. I
Hmm.
do a little bit of PPC, a little bit of Facebook marketing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I spend that money. There ain't no question about that. But we get 2 or 3 leads a day. Matter of fact, I think we got some leads today that I'll be calling if it doesn't get too late today.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we have any today or not. The final report came through while we're on the air here, so I haven't looked at it. But I'm pretty confident that we didn't receive anything today, or else it would have been
Oh,
much.
don't say that. You probably got something.
Yeah,
It
Shelly's
looks like
looking it
we
up now.
got uh
Yeah.
1 lead. We got 1 lead, and it's over in Illinois, Alton, Illinois. Woo!
Ooh, Illinois. Do you like That's another thing. Do you like doing anything in Illinois?
I am not a fan of Illinois. I'm 1 for 3 over there.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, with their wholesaling laws and stuff, we're kind of like want to stay away from there.
This came in from our website. Just got through talking about the website. So that's an organic lead that came straight off of our website.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, we're trying to get our website out there a little bit more now, which is 5starhb.com. So,
HB.com. Log on now.
exactly.
Use that for your
And
voiceover for your commercial.
and
And now here's the weather.
Then we're gonna have partly cloudy skies with barometric pressure is 30.5.
anyway, do you have any questions that you want to throw out there, Miss?
So one of my questions I was going to ask earlier was, what was one of your probably most challenging deals that you closed?
The one I'm working on, one of them that I'm working on right now is quite challenging. So it's a house down in Fenton, not too far from you guys. I got it under contract with the seller. This is about 2, almost 3 weeks ago now. Yeah, the first week of March. Got them under contract for 50,000. Found a buyer for it. The buyer's locked in. I went back and renegotiated and got them even lower down to 47. But the elephant in the room is the tenants. They're not even really tenants. It's the person that he bought the house from, and we need them to move out before my end buyer can close. So it's a wholesale deal.
Yeah.
Um, and it's in a flood zone, so it could not be sold to somebody who's going to take a loan because they're not going to be able to get it with the loan. They need to be a cash buyer. So we got a cash buyer at 59,000, and I renegotiated them to 47,000. So it'll be a $12,000 gross profit wholesale deal. In the event we can get these tenants out, we're supposed to close it this week, but I don't know if it's going to work out.
So are the tenants in there? Are they under a lease agreement, or is it a month-to-month thing?
Nope, they just living there. So if you want the real truth, the building ain't even habitable. It don't have running water. There's no toilet. It's been gutted.
So
It's
there's squatters.
no, they're not really squatters. They live there and they've been paying a little something, but the guy
Oh,
just wants money and run.
right. Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you live in something that has no running water?
And some of the people that went to see the property say they saw some mice. I didn't see any when I was there, but who knows?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So it sounds like this is a fixer-upper for the
Oh
person
yeah,
that you're
full rehab, $80,000 rehab lease. Yeah.
80,000.
Wow.
What's the after market value on that one?
Let's say about 160.
160.
So they're buying it for 59, putting about
Yeah.
70 or 80 in it.
Right.
Well, that's what the value I came up with, and that's the thing. So I guess this is a teaching moment again. So when I do these deals and I send them out for a buyer to get them, I don't really necessarily say an ARV or after repair value. I do show some nearby sold properties if I find some, but generally I don't give ARVs and I do not give repair estimates. You do your own repair estimate. I might tell you what it needs. It needs a roof, it needs this, it needs siding, it needs floors, it needs kitchen, I might tell you that, but I don't give numbers to this stuff because I don't know what your numbers are. You might be able to get a roof done for 3,000. It might cost me 8.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't give people numbers. I just give them the facts that I do know. These are the known repairs. This is our price, contract purchase price, and we assign the contract that way.
Yep. I, I, that's a good way to do it because that doesn't obligate you to anything, any particular number or something.
100%. Plus, also, I don't assign my contracts for a assignment fee. I don't have any assignment fees on my contract. I have a total contract purchase price. So, for instance, say that particular deal, I'm gonna assign it for 59,000 to somebody else. That's what it says. Assignment or assigning the contract for a total contract purchase price of 59,000. Not an assignment fee of 12. Because it's you making 12. Oh, I gotta get you down some more. Because end buyers will try to get you on that. So I never negotiate assignment fees or anything. I just talk total contract purchase price plus closing costs.
Right. Yeah. I mean, closing costs or whatever they're going to be.
Yep. And that's the buyer and seller side closing costs
Right.
passed on to the end buyer. So my number's clean. Whatever we're going to get off the deal, that's a clean number.
That's the way to do it.
Yep.
All right. Well, I see that we've been on for a little bit of time. Do you have anything?
No, I thank you for your time and valuable information and participating in this podcast with us.
All
Yes.
right. How often are you guys going to be having a podcast?
Weekly. We're
Yeah,
going to work on weekly.
I have one tomorrow I'm going to do with another sub-2 student.
Yeah. But weekly's the goal, but they're coming a little quicker than we expect.
Oh, they roll quick. So yeah, don't forget to follow me on all social media at Chris Monroe STL. That's Snapchat, that's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Facebook, that's YouTube, that's TikTok, that's Clubhouse, that's all of the social media. Whatever one you're on, it's the same name. Chris Monroe STL.
And ours is at James and Shelley Wren. No matter which social media it is as well. Even
That's
though
how
we're
we
calling
do it. Easy to find. Sound
That's
like you're
right.
easy to find out here.
we're calling our podcast though the Wren's Nest because our last name is like a bird. Yeah, good sound.
I'm not sure if that's the Wren's call, but that's pretty good.
Yep. All right, and you have a good evening, and we will talk with you.
Hold on, we got a live call coming in. You might get it on your podcast.
All right, sweet. We'll mute ourselves.
Oh, never mind. It's somebody else. Hello, thanks for calling. Yes, it is.